How's it going, guys? It's coming online real quick. Live today on Facebook and Instagram, so you see me looking back and forth. You'll know why. I haven't gone live on on both in some time. So bear with me. Let me see. Let's see if I can. There we go. Tag with followers if I can. There we go. We're talking about trauma today. All right, let's see. Maybe I can do this. All right. Okay, all right. So it's gonna give it a minute. Let people come through. Set the frame. How do you? Let's see. We got. Let me see. All right. Well. Here we go. There we go. Okay. All right. I'm ready to start. It's different. It's different on Facebook. Doing it from my laptop. All these little technical things that I was not aware of, but it's all right. I'm going to work through. Okay. So, I wanted to go live today, guys, to talk about how to heal deeply rooted trauma. Many times we feel like it's ready to let some of it go or all of it, and we don't know how. And that tends to be the biggest issue, right? People not knowing how to release it, but they want to. It can get frustrating. It can get frustrating to want to let go of, these beliefs that even come with the trauma, but you don't know how. So that's what I'm going to share with you, a couple steps today that's going to help you really tackle that. Really go within yourself and really see how you can start releasing today, right? So, first and foremost, I want to share, though, just how I kind of came about this. Like I've been talking about this recently, this truth process that I created. It's a component of my next level integration method, what I use with my one-on-one clients. And it came through once I finally freaking slowed down. It came through. And I want to share with you like the basics of it, right? The real basics in the sense that you can utilize this with anything. Anything that comes up for you, you can utilize it with whatever you're trying to let go of, so to speak, right? And going through this process, I realized that there was a traumatic experience, or multiple traumatic experiences that accumulated when I was growing up that made me believe I was a fuck up. And I was kind of aware that this belief was there, but I didn't really know how many components there were to it, how many experiences were connected to it, right? And the biggest thing that I realized was on report card day, right? On report card day, I would come home, and I hated report card day. I hated coming home, showing my parents the grades that I received, because they would always be disappointed. My mom would break down because I went to a Catholic school and they're paying all this money, and I just remember feeling so low, right? So low in those moments, because it's not, report card day isn't just once, and I didn't know how much that affected me. I didn't know how much that trauma really, or how much those experience really created a deeply rooted trauma, a traumatic experience, right? And from that came the belief. that I was a F up. Like I couldn't, that because of my parents' reactions, because of, oh, I'm not intelligent, right? I'm not smart because I couldn't memorize shit in school, right? Or I didn't care about it. That affected me for quite some time. And you see, when you just go your whole life believing you are those traumatic experiences, that you are those, those beliefs that are created from it, you self-sabotage in a lot of ways. You create situations that make those beliefs true, right? And it's all unconscious. It's all unconscious. So it's been interesting. It's been interesting. Maybe some things are coming to mind for you, right? Like some habits, some actions that you do that you don't even know why you do them, but you do them. And it all goes back to a deeply rooted trauma that created a deeply rooted belief of who you are. And it's not even who you actually are. Not even who you actually are. And I think once you find the truth, right, the truth will set you free. That's when you'll be able to actually start releasing this trauma, right? And basically what I do in this truth process that I walk my clients through is I help them discover the origin, right? The origin of this traumatic experience. Where did it really stem from? And I help them challenge it. Really challenge that, right? Go into the experience. They're going to redefine it. They're able to really gain a new perspective around what happened, right? They're creating a new truth in so many ways, creating a new truth as to what happened in that traumatic experience. And as a result, there's going to be a new belief. You're going to see who you actually are, right? You this time, you're the one that's defining what happened. You're not just letting a lower level of consciousness, which is where you were at that point, right? Like when it happened, you're not going off that old program anymore. You're not just saying, "Oh, well, this is me. This is what happened. I can't change it." No, like you're really creating yourself again. It's like a rebirth, right? And if you give yourself that chance to go into it, find the deeply rooted trauma, redefine it, right? Go back into that experience and create another meaning and create a new truth. You create a new truth, you're going to create a new belief, new actions, new results. You're not going to self-sabotage. You're not going to view yourself in a negative way. It changes the whole perception of your life. Like perception is projection, right? If I thought for so long I was a fuck up, what do you think? What kind of actions do you think would accumulate with that, right? No wonder I went to alcohol at the age of 22, right? No wonder I got a DUI. No wonder I was living with my parents for what I felt was too long. All these actions, this paradigm was running in the background. There's a paradigm that's running you in the background. It's like the puppet master. You don't even know it's there, right? And you form all these habits, these beliefs, these thoughts that originate from the traumatic experience, and you think it's you. But no, you're a lot of people are just the aftermath of what happened from how can I word this? A lower level of conscious definition of the experience, right? Because whatever we go through, there's an emotion and there's a meaning attached to it. What if it didn't have to be a negative meaning, right? That's why so many people struggle with the victim's mindset, because from the stuff that they went through, they created a negative meaning. I'm powerless. I don't have control of my life. I can't have responsibility. And it's not true. We really cap ourselves, we really limit ourselves through that. But this is why this process is so freaking powerful, because you get to take control back of your mind. You're not, I always say, you're not just going around like a ship with no rudder, letting this paradigm take you wherever it wants and swing you wherever, right? Like, exactly, Carol. Exactly. That's what's going on. And and again, there's times, right? Like, not everybody's ready for the change, and if you're not, you're probably being prepared for it. But that's why I'm talking to the people that you really, you're sick and tired, right? You're fed up with this shit. Like, you don't have to keep living the way you're living. You don't have to just manage these traumas. You can actually start releasing them, healing them, right? Oftentimes we don't change because it's tolerable where we're at. It doesn't hurt enough. And I'll share this real quick too, like this old story about this dog sitting on a nail, right? I don't know if you ever heard it, Carol, but it goes like this. There's this customer going into a grocery store, and he sees this dog walking in, right? He's walking into the grocery store. He sees this dog sitting on a nail, just crying, and it's like, okay, that's odd. And he walks in. He gets his stuff, right? He gets his groceries, gets whatever maybe a Kit Kat, maybe some kombucha, who knows, right? And he's checking out, and he tells the clerk there, right? Like, hey, how long has that dog been sitting on the nail for? Welcome, Katie. How long has that dog been sitting on the nail for? And the clerk replies, he's been there for a couple hours. And the customer tells the clerk, like, doesn't it hurt? Doesn't it, like, isn't the dog in pain sitting on the nail for a couple hours? And this is what you need to remember. The clerk replies, it must not hurt bad enough for the dog to move. Because if it hurt bad enough, the dog would move, right? And that's the honest truth as to why sometimes we're afraid of change. It doesn't hurt bad enough, right? It's tolerable. It's bad, but it ain't that bad, right? And one of my old mentors, what he told me is, like, when I was going through a tough time with struggling with alcohol and just doing dumb stuff that I know, like, I knew better, right? Sometimes we do dumb stuff and we know better. And my mentors told me on a one-on-one call, he said, Roy, get ready for the bang. Get ready for the bang. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he said, there's going to be a significant traumatic event that's going to happen. It's going to force you to change. It's going to force you to change. Unless you do something, like now, like you invested money into this, he said, you're here, you invested time. Like, unless you really see the significance, the seriousness of your situation, get ready for the bang. And thank God, thank my spirit that I listened and I didn't have to go through that bang. I took action right after that call, and I did some stuff that I know I had to do, but I've been pushing off, right? And that's what I'm referring to, guys. Like, yeah, Carol, exactly, buddy. It's like, it's true. It's true, and we're all guilty of this, right? We sometimes we're just not ready, but sometimes we need a push, and sometimes we don't know how, right? And we need support or some guidance. And I always tell when I'm having these calls, like even in the workshop, like, you're talking to yourself. You're not talking to me. Like the conversations that we have, yeah, they're it's dual, right? It's a dual reality and stuff, but they're really just talking to themselves. And it's like you're giving yourself permission to start releasing, right? To start heading in that direction, to give yourself some momentum. When you start going into the traumas. So again, how do you heal a deeply rooted trauma? You identify it, right? You find the origin, you challenge it. You challenge it, and you challenge it by questioning it, right? You really ask yourself, is this true? Again, I would ask myself to do this process, the truth process I created, is this really true? Am I really a fuck up? If I was a fuck up, would I move from Chicago to Sedona, Arizona, and drive 24 hours and never go back? If I was a fuck up, would I help all these people that have had amazing transformations, that have changed their lives literally within 90 days, even with one session? Would that really be true? Have such an impact in people's lives, like, right? You question this, you question it, and then you create the truth, and that you create the truth. But again, there's more steps to it. But just in a general term, like, you got to be willing to face yourself, right? Like, the monster ain't as big as you think it is, and if you're willing to go confront that monster, you stand a chance at liberating yourself, at freeing yourself, and not living in a mental prison that you don't even know you're in sometimes, right? So, yeah, guys, like, this is, in a nutshell, that's how you start to heal deeply rooted trauma. And again, this truth process that I recently created, it's what I use with my clients. We go deeper into it when I'm guiding you through it, and that's what I'm going to be doing in my up and coming workshop, right? Soul Renewal. If you really want guidance, if you really want to start letting go, maybe something happened to you years ago, and you haven't been able to really let this trapped energy out of your vessel, let me show you the how. It's so much easier with guidance. I'm telling you, I've had coaching program. I had so many coaching programs, mentors, I've courses, like all this stuff that accelerated my healing process, that accelerated my healing journey. And it's because, when you know your worth, when you know your value, you put money into it, you put your time into it, right? When you get something for free, like I did a lot of free workshops, and freaking 15 people would sign up, right? Not even half would show up. So you're not really invested. And that's why I'm charging this time. I want you to be all in on you. I want you to really say, you know what? I'm making a choice. I don't have to live like this. You don't have to just manage your life, manage these emotions. Sometimes we're not even managing them. We're just suppressing them because we can't deal with them. We don't know how to deal with them. And I'm telling you, there's another side. It's another way of being. You don't have to just walk through life, suppressing all this stuff. You don't have to just walk through life thinking you're all this negative stuff. Like, sometimes, there's a quote, sometimes it's not about who you think you are, but who you think you're not. And that's what you got to look at. Like, that's what we're going to be doing in this workshop. Like, you're really going to see your truth like never before. Not even like just saying that, man. Like, never before. You really want to know who you are? Come face yourself. Come face yourself. You'll see your true power, your true potential. That you don't have to keep holding yourself back and believing you're all this negative stuff. Like, there's a faster way. There's a way that you can do this, and you can heal in a holistic way, right? And that's the kind of work that I'm sharing. But you don't have to just accept these negative perspectives of who you are, negative beliefs that stem from just a traumatic experience or experiences that you defined as bad. Why not redefine it? Why not redefine yourself? Like, there's hope if you give it to you, right? You want to give that to yourself? Like, there's a lot of hope that can be tapped into, and again, that'll help you find your truth as well. But yeah, guys, I hope this has been helpful, right? I hope this has been helpful, and just, again, I wanted to invite you and say, join us. Join us. We're going to be a group of 15, and we're going to be going deep. We're going to be going very deep into just, again, discovering that trauma, discover even the beliefs that came from that trauma. You won't be the same. So many ways you won't be the same afterwards. But yeah, guys, if you want the link, if you want to register, go ahead and send me a DM saying soul. You're very welcome, Carol. Thank you for being here, buddy. And I'll start again. If you have any questions, want to learn more, send me a DM as well. I'm here, right? But just I'm letting you know, like, you have control of your life, right? And again, from there's another perspective that, you know, there's a higher power at play, and that's true too. But if you're watching this, right, like, what's the curiosity about? Maybe you want change, and maybe, you know, there's something like it's been emerging, and you want to give yourself this chance to go with that momentum, right? To not hold on to this. Like, I'll leave you with this. One of the questions that I ask myself before any significant change, before anything that I'm about to do that I'm afraid of, or that I have resistance to, I ask myself, Roy, why not just stay where you are? Why not just stay where you are? Right? Nothing changes and nothing changes, right? Like, why not just stay where you are? And that'll let you know if you're ready for change. That'll let you know if you really want to become more right now, or if it's time to become more right now, right? So just sit with that. Just sit with that. And yeah, guys, I hope that just me sharing this, right, personal, this vulnerable stuff has helped you kind of reflect and be like, damn, like, what's the belief that keeps coming up, right? And again, like, you can go deep with it within yourself, or again, if you want guidance, go ahead, come join me, and I would love to serve you. All right, until next time, guys, thank you for joining, Lupita, and I will see you guys. Maybe I'll go live another time this week. We'll see. Much love.